Hi, and welcome back to Dubai Real Estate Philosophy. My name is Ahmed, and today we are going to do a full in-depth coverage on Imtiaz. Now, I've had a lot of requests for Imtiaz. They have a lot of projects. It's a very overwhelming developer. They have a huge hole on Dubai Island. So today, finally, we have taken out the time. We have come to their sales center. We're going to cover the projects. We're going to show you guys the show apartment. We're going to cover the projects in Dubai Islands, Dubai Land Residential Complex, better known as DLRC. And we're going to see, again, this is one of those developers that comes fully furnished. So stay tuned for the video. We're going to do an in-depth investment analysis in the end as well. Now, moving on, starting with this Dubai Islands master plan that you guys can see over here. Most of the people, they don't understand that when you actually get into Dubai Islands, one of the most dominant real estate developers in Dubai Islands is actually Imtiaz. They have sold over 11 buildings. 5 of them are already under construction. One of them, even the gray structure, is already done. Now, I want to bring your attention to basically WynWood, and we'll show you guys more of the B-roll later on down the line. WynWood is basically coming, and this is going to be one of their luxury segments that is being launched by Imtiaz, right? Now, they had some earlier launches. You guys might have heard about the Courtier, you know, the house and the two, which was basically marina facing. This one is a bit on the side. Fun fact, it is going to be one of the tallest residential towers in DLRC. Now, speaking a bit more about the location, as soon as you're entering in from the bridge, the first building you're actually going to see is the Imtiaz WynWood. And speaking more a bit about the location, it is very strategically located. It is one of the best plots in Imtiaz. Now let's see why. In the middle, you guys can see there's going to be, and we'll show basically the master plan, renders and all these things, but you can see this is going to be an entire Central Park spine going through basically this entire, residential district. This is going to be over 1.3 kilometers in length. And this building is going to be, obviously, as you can see, direct access to that. You have direct views, that are going to be facing this side of the water. There are going to be also units that are facing the canal side of the water. And keep in mind, these are all commercial G+1 buildings, and they're going to remain like that, and they're not going to change them. So we can ensure that we do have those gorgeous views, even at night when you have, the lit up commercial district, this lit up canal area, because we do have 3-4 marinas. There's going to be constant, ship movement. It's not going to be something that's very gloomy at night. So this was, and again, we'll get into the investment analysis later on where we dive deep into the numbers, the payment plans, all these things. But this is just to show you what they have, and the little red, points you can see on Dubai Island is all the projects that have been sold out by Imtiaz. And again, just like I mentioned, 11 buildings. This is a developer that is very, very vertically integrated, kind of like Shoba, not as crazy as Shoba, but they have been a main contracting company in construction for a long time in Dubai. They've done construction for a lot of the major developers, and now they have turned into the development side themselves, coming in with that expert knowledge, that vertical integration. So that, definitely this makes them one of the best developers here in Dubai. And we had to come to their sales center as well. You guys can see this is in Dubai Hills Business Park. So it's a very beautiful sales center as well. We'll show you guys a bit, a quick shot of the DLRC, and then we'll go to the show apartment. So stay tuned for that. So this is basically a gorgeous entire, master plan of Dubai these guys have over here in their main office. And we just saw the Dubai Islands, basically projects that these guys were showing. Obviously, you can see the gorgeous Burj Khalifa. And all these projects are the ones that came in DLRC, better known as Dubai Land Residential Complex. Now, we currently, a lot of these are sold out buildings already, but they do have Cove Edition 6 that is coming up. 5 is the one that just came up. A lot of the bookings happen for that unit. So you can see how many buildings they have launched everywhere. They've launched a lot over here. They have one in Fort John, obviously the Westwood. So this is a developer that has been at it for a while. It does come fully furnished. So this was just to show you, again, when we get to the investment analysis, we'll see the Dubai Island project differently, and then we'll see this DLRC project differently. So, I mean, something that they do have for everyone. They have the luxury pricing available at Dubai Islands. and then obviously they have their budget-friendly options available in DLRC. So let's do one thing. Let's go to the show apartment, then we're gonna get into the investment analysis. Now we're standing at the show apartment these guys do have. Now keep in mind, this is the budget-friendly show apartment. So you can imagine the WynWood that is coming up in Dubai Islands, it is going to be even better than that. That show apartment is actually not done yet. It is still under completion on the 3rd floor actually. So when that is ready, we'll try to cover that up. Again, these things come fully furnished. We have Miele appliances, your microwave, your oven, your stove, obviously your fridge. You can see the distance, the gap, the finishing that these guys have. Excellent sizes for the apartments. And this is one of those videos, you know, we always say in our videos, the furniture is just for show. This is one of those videos where it actually comes as is. So you can see how they've placed the dining table. We have nice expansive living room, and it is again going to come with all the furniture, all the fixtures and fittings, including the TV, and again we have floor to ceiling windows, curtains, all these things. The views, and obviously WynWood in Dubai Islands is going to be one of the main selling points. But again, if you're going for the budget-friendly options available in DLRC, it is still going to be something. And the best part is they give all this while not charging too much of a premium. Now this is a 1-bed, so we'll show you guys the bedroom. Again, you can see the expansive bedroom. We have like 3.12 meters of height, and again this is going to come with everything you see. Everything you see is everything you get. This is one of the key selling points of Imtiaz when it comes to the quality fittings and furnishings. Moving on, we have the walk-in wardrobe, obviously on both sides, and then getting in, you can see the quality of the fixtures and fittings of the bathroom. So this was a quick tour of the show apartment that Imtiaz has in their sales center. We covered a bit of the details of the new launch coming up in Dubai Islands and the budget options that they do have in DLRC. So now let's do one thing. Let's go into the investment analysis. We'll look at the pricing, the payment plan, why this developer makes so much sense when it comes to, having a fully completed apartment, including the furnitures, the construction quality. We'll dive into all those things in the presentation. So stay tuned for that. So we were just at the sales center of Imtiaz. As you guys saw, beautiful office that these guys have made in Dubai Hills Estate. Again, Imtiaz having one of the best sales centers, and it really goes to show that how much detail they look at, especially when it comes to construction quality. Obviously they want to have furnished options, as you guys saw in the show apartment as well. Beautiful show apartment, as we said in the video as well, that this is one of the rare times where you do actually get exactly what you're seeing, including the furniture, including the study room and all these things. So this is now a presentation speaking more a bit about Imtiaz, seeing what they are all about. And we're going to be covering 2 projects in this. We're going to be looking at WynWood, their option coming up in Dubai Island, and then of course we're going to be covering Cove Edition 6, which is going to be their budget option in Dubai Islands. So before we actually get into something, this is going to be short, a developer profile, a corporate profile. As you guys can see, Imtiaz, Discover Imtiaz Developers. Now these guys have been headquartered in Dubai, okay, and they are known for their very solid capabilities. They've handed over 2,000 residential units, a lot of retail space, office space. So if we back up into Imtiaz's history, these guys have been in the construction business for a long time. They used to be one of the big contractors that all these tier 1 developers like Imar, Nakhil, Miras, all these guys used to outsource a lot of the construction to Imtiaz, as a matter of fact. So they really have an idea of the logistics. They have all that experience, they have all that backing, that construction knowledge, and they're not as integrated as we also spoke about in the video, not as much as Shoba, but they're very there. They're very close. They're not so vertically integrated where they're even making the tiles themselves, but to a very large extent they have a lot of economies of scale, and that's why they're able to give it furnished and pass on the savings to the people as well. So moving on, again, they do focus a lot on sustainability as well. Again, they do a lot of things, and to solidify that even more, as you guys can see, the Emirates Environmental Group, these guys are also planting a tree for every apartment that they build. So if a unit has 150 apartments to 200 apartments. They're also planting, 150, 200 trees. That's great for the environment. Obviously, they want to reduce their impact, obviously being in a business like construction where there is a lot of impact. And for those people who, really are looking for those kind of sustainable projects and all these things, these guys are pretty solid. As we saw in the sales center, you guys can probably see these are the things that these guys do provide. This is basically the chairman of the board. It is a family run business. As you guys can see, they've been doing it since 1993. So they've been at it for quite a while. They've been very successful, clearly. And this is obviously the CEO, Buy Imtiaz. Now, these guys are very solid. They've been at it a long time. They have excellent economies of scale and all these things. And you can even see what the achievements they have done. Gulf News, Khalij Times, Arabian Business. They've been featured in a lot of places. Construction Weekly. So they're very well known. As we always say in our videos, you want to go with a developer that's known, that has given properties, that has delivered projects, unless they're coming into construction for the first time, but they have had they're financially well set, because we don't want, God forbid, tomorrow there's a financial crisis or COVID-19 or something, that they don't have the funds to actually complete the project. These guys are definitely very well funded, very established, family run business that has been doing this for a long time. And as you guys can see, one of the cool things, Imtiaz partners with Oracle to enhance customer service. So Oracle, obviously being Fortune 500 company, these guys are running a solid business. Now, why buy Imtiaz property? Again, these are some of the points. Emphasis on design, okay, customer centric, superior ROI. We're going to stay tuned for that. These guys' ROI is much better than the market average. We'll do that in the investment analysis portion of this presentation. Timely handovers. They have given timely handovers. They've already handed over 2 buildings, one in JVC, one in Furjan. Again, stay tuned for the presentation to see those. Again, quality assurance is there. They do have Wi-Fi, global benchmarks. Their payment flexibility is very solid. You have options of post handovers. You have options of 50-50. Dubai Islands is a bit more strict, obviously, a more luxurious product, a very high-end product. So not that much flexibility, but again, very solid developer. Now, this is one of the projects that has been handed over, actually, WynWood by Imtiaz. If you guys live in Dubai, you can go to Furjan, you can see it. It's a ready building. You can go, look at some rental units. Again, the show apartment that we did show, that is exactly what this project was. Very hyped up project when it was launched. A lot of people were not sure if they're going to do it or not, but they have established it, they have delivered it, not only here but also in JVC. As you guys can see, this was completed in Q4 of 2023. And then this is the WynWood Grand by Imtiaz. This is the JVC one. Gorgeous building. And again, as we always talk about, they brought the renders into reality. So that's very good to see. And now these are all their projects that are still under construction. As you guys can see, they have a lot of projects under construction. I believe 11, Pearl House 1, 2, 3, Luxor by Imtiaz, Hyde Walk, Cove, okay, obviously Beach Walk. This is their Dubai Island, Beach Walk 2. Again, you guys can pause the screen to look at the projects. Again, these are all sold out projects. They don't really have any availability in them, but this is just to show that they are not fooling around. They have a lot of construction going on. That's what they're masters of. Now, this is again Discover Dubai with Imtiaz. These are the 22 projects that are currently going on. So massive developer, as you guys can see in Furjan, JVC, Dubai Land, they have very big, and obviously Cove Edition 6 is also coming in Dubai Line, so very affordable options there. And then obviously you guys can see in Dubai Islands right at the top, starting all the way from 10, 11, then we have 13, 15, 16, 19, 20, and 21. So these guys are actually one of the developers that have the most amount of plots in Dubai Islands, as we discussed at the beginning part of this video. Now, moving on, we're going to talk a bit more about the Edition 5 that they recently launched. It's basically sold out. They might have a couple of, studios available here and there, but this is just to show you what they have, the recent launch. And Cove Edition 6 is going to be very similar to this. Now, the details on all these things are not out yet, but they'll be launching soon. It'll be a similar design building. Again, they have delivered, WynWood and all these things, so you can be rest assured that what the renders these guys are showing, they will be delivering fully furnished with all the brands that they have. As you guys can see, Siemens, Vitra, and not to mention all their houses are smart homes, so they are Alexa powered as well. Now, this is a bit of the location overview of where Dubai land is. You guys can see over here, it is a pretty solid location. Now, if we were to just basically explain it a bit, here I'm going to use the pen on this to basically explain it. And so this is basically where the Dubai land is located, and you can see how prime and central it is, because it is a excellent budget option. Prices over there are pretty solid. You have a flexible payment plan of 70-30, and then 30% is post handover. We'll look at the payment plan, and you also have a 50-50 payment plan, which is very mortgage friendly. So excellent pricing. Dubai line, very up and coming project. As you guys can see, it is connected directly to the Emirates Road. We have Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road. Obviously, this is the Sheikh Zayed Road, and it is directly connected to Al Ain Road. That means only in like 20 minutes, you're basically right into downtown. You have access to all these highways, obviously, not to mention we got Al Khil Road here. So you have excellent Al Ain Road, again, brand new, massive 12-lane highway, which connects you to 4 more highways. So when it comes to connectivity, Dubai land in of itself is a very excellent location. And that's why these guys are capitalizing on it as well. It's one of those up and coming places, and that is why I really try to explain to people why, because we did very well with the prior projects, and this is why I like to tell people that, look, rather than going to JVC where 30,000 units are going to be handed over this year, again 30,000 were handed over roughly last year as well. That is an area where investors made decent amount of money, but let's say 5 years ago, all my clientele, they have already exited, or they have units that are already on rent, and now they're looking for that next up and coming thing. And Dubai land is definitely going to be one of those areas, because again, it's in its initial stages, a lot of construction going on. That capital appreciation is going to come obviously in the future. We have metro access and all these things coming up, not to mention Etihad Rail is going to be passing fairly close by as well. And as you guys can see, where we are, 5 minutes to Dubai Outlet Mall, Academic City, Silicon Oasis, so great for short term as well. If you have students living in there, all these kind of things. Dubai International Airport is 20 minutes away. Okay, IMG World Global Village, very well strategically located in Dubai Island as general. Now, payment plan, as I said, they usually have 2 options. Most of the time, option 1 is the 50-50. You guys can see how that breaks down, and then they have the 3-year post handover payment plan, which is 70-30. So you only pay 70%, and then 30% you pay in 3 years time. Again, we'll look at the actual breakdown of that in the later on. These are the apartments that the typology that these guys usually provide. They do have studios, 1 beds, 2 beds. We get a lot of clients who are asking for good, solid quality studios that are going to make excellent returns, or solid 1 beds. Imtiaz is definitely a developer you do not want to miss. They have that excellent payment plan. They have that developer backing. It comes fully furnished. I mean, it ticks all the boxes, and the location is definitely, up and coming as well. Now, moving on, this is a sample sales offer for a 1-bedroom in Cove Edition 5 that we recently booked as well. This is just to show you, took this out to show you guys how the payment breakdown is. So if we look over here, this is the payment plan of 70-30. Basically over here, as you guys can see, 70-30, and you're paying 70% until completion, and then obviously 30% you got to pay in 3 years time at 2.5%. So roughly around every 3 months you're paying 3 months roughly you're paying 2.5%. So that sums up to be even less than basically 1% a month. So very solid, excellent payment plan. If we and again, it continues all the way till here, so that's your 30%. And then over here we have the 50-50 split, which is fairly standard, where we pay 50% during construction, and then once it's completed we have the 50%, and again we can mortgage that, and we'll look at that scenario here as well. Now, before we actually move into that, I want to also discuss about WynWood, which is their new up and coming basically project in Dubai Islands. A lot of people are asking for Dubai Islands. This is one of the best options in Dubai Islands, and we'll see why. Again, you guys saw the master plan in the beginning of this video, but right now we're going to get deep dive into it and see why it's so excellent. Now, this is the building design that these guys have. Now, if we look at this shot, right, you can see this is basically the entrance road over here. This is the entrance road into Dubai Island. right? And one of the first things you're gonna see while coming in from this road is Imtiaz's building, because number one, this is actually going to be taller than the surrounding buildings. And it is going to be, if you go even on Dubai Island right now, you're going to see Imtiaz, Imtiaz, Imtiaz. They have so many projects there. They have dominated Dubai Islands because, again, they see the potential as well. They timed it right. And we're going to see why this location is so strategic. So, again, that was the entrance. Right in front, we have a massive gap in between the next building, so you're gonna have very nice canal views, very nice water views. So this is a better rendering, and this is basically the main island, right? So this is the entrance to the island. This is where WynWood is now. These guys already have projects here. They also have projects over here, and again, they're all fully sold out, so we don't have that. And the reason this, again, location is so strategic is because these are all going to be low-rise commercial, so you're gonna have nice open views of the marina, the canal, which is a very happening area because, again, there's going to be a lot of retail, a lot of commercial. Sometimes a lot of people, they don't want direct water views because what happens at night is that it gets super dark and there's nothing there. All you see is the water, okay? And if you're working, okay, or all these things are outside the whole day, you come back and then it's just pitch, dark in front. I mean, well, in Dubai, it's not really dark anywhere. But it is, it's not, it's amazing. But when there's some nightlife going on, you have all these lightings, you have yachts crossing this canal. As you guys can see, they have 3 marinas as of right now, 1, 2, and there's going to be a third one over here, not to mention the commercial activity that's going there. So it doesn't matter if you're front facing or side facing, it's going to be pretty solid. And one thing, again, which we have, showed you guys in the master plan, there's going to be a massive park over here where I'm highlighting right now in the yellow. This is going to be 1.3 kilometers park, and you are walking access to that 2 minutes away from the park. So you have the park, you have the greenery, and you have the gorgeous canal views. It is really a solid plot, and as more and more information comes out, we're gonna cover that as well. Again, this is where Dubai Islands is. Dubai Islands, don't really need to cover that. We've covered it multiple times before. Again, one of the nice hot spots, one of the last coastal, basically, areas available, Dubai Islands, maritime city, and then that's pretty much about it. Again, just 15 minutes away from downtown DIFC, Dubai Mall, Jumeirah, J1 Beach, Cipriani, which is in DIFC, which we covered in our Jumeirah Livings video. Obviously, Museum of the Future there as well, the Oprah Gallery. So, very prime location. And again, not to mention RTA, as we discussed in our Maritime City video as well, they have poured over 5 billion dirhams in the development of all these tunnels and all these things to make sure that the traffic is much better. These are some renders of the building, very well made. Very cool modern-esque design. Again, it's going to be much taller than the surrounding one. So if you're going for the top units, you are going to have that nice panoramic views of the island. Now, these guys, again, talking about sustainability, they're very inspired by nature. So this is, as you guys can see, one of the entrance lobbies when you're going down. Very well made, very amazing. You guys can see the infinity pool pouring over the water on that side. You have all these skylights, or even the parking is going to have all that sunlight coming in. This is the lobby, very well done lobby. Again, this very cool levitating type tree going on. So again, we have all these things: VIP parkings, staircases, pedestrian pathway. They have multiple podium levels for parking, yoga, pool deck, all these things. You can see the podium level with all the amenities, and these are some of them to name them out. Again, you can pause the screen, look over it. These are some renders of the project. Again, these guys have delivered Westwood, so we know that they are good for it, and they are going to bring these renders into reality. So these are some renders of the project. Again, you guys can see, and they do use Miele appliances. They're going to be using Jesse, Villeray, Bosch, okay, Alexa, smart homes. Again, nice panoramic views. This is a panoramic view of the the higher floors. So if you do go for those, you're going to get nice panoramic views of Dubai Island. So these are some of the renders. We don't really have to go through these because we saw the actual show apartment. And again, as we said, that real show apartment for Westwood is going to be even more elevated than the show apartment that we showed you guys. It's going to be something pretty solid, and they're actually making a new one on the 3rd floor of their office, but that one is not ready. Now, diving into the presentation, over here we're going to see the historical data and the rental comparison. As I told you about, that these guys are much more than the average market. And we're going to see that right now. So if we see the WynWood basically, which is in for John, if we see compare other guys who are asking for one beds, again, the sizes are pretty much similar. 85, 70,000, again, the 70,000 one is a bit less. And then, so the average you can say, again, 80,000, 72,000, the average you can say it's around 75,000 dirhams for a average one bed in for John. Now, if we take WynWood, which is already ready, fully furnished in the same location, look at the rental yields. 95,000, 94,000, pretty much the same size. The only difference is Imtiaz. These guys are kind of, having and seeing the reaction in the market, kind of like how Ellington does it. Even Ellington, if you see their, rentals are much better than the surrounding buildings just because their maintenance is better, their build quality, all these things are much better, not to mention these guys give it fully furnished. And again, not just these two, you can see more. There's a unit that's going all the way, even up to 100,000. It's probably going to hire floor and 96,000, which brings the average to 96,500 from the 75,000. That is a 28% increase in rental yields in the same location by similar developers. There's nothing different. The only difference, the wild card that you're playing that's going to give you that ROI is going to be Imtiaz branding, Imtiaz furniture, Imtiaz construction quality. And there is no doubt in my mind that they're going to have the same thing in Dubai Islands. They're going to have the same thing in Dubai Land Residential Complex. Now, if we look into the mortgage scenario in Dubai Land, again, the average price is going, this is going to be for a one bed. We're looking at around 1.2, 1.3 million. This is basically the rental average that we're going to keep, again, based on the historical data. And if we go for the mortgage scenario, a lot of guys, they do come with us, big time investors who like to, use leverage as well. This is just for them. You can skip this part if you don't want to. And 6.5%, most of them are international clientele. We're making this section specifically for them. You're looking at around 5592 dirhams per month for your bank loans or your EMIs. Now, if you look at the DCSR, which is your debt coverage service ratio, that's around 1.4x, which is pretty solid. That means you're making 1.4 times more in rental income yields per month than what you have to pay to the bank. So it's very doable, where you pay only we only pay 50% of the price, you give it on rent, the rest you can just lease it out from a bank, and you're already making rental income just by paying 50%. So very solid scenario. Final verdict, in my opinion, again, very strong yield, rental yield, better than the others. ROEs are very nice, excellent mortgage coverage at 1.4, and very favorable market conditions. This was a quick wrap about Imtiaz. We went to the sales center, we showed you guys the show apartment, we talked about some of the projects that are up and coming, in my opinion. Again, I'll do one more thing. I'll show you guys. So these are some of the details that they have released for WynWood. You guys can see the starting prices. Again, starting prices is always a rough idea. You should always add 100,000 more or less, 100 to 200,000 depending on what floor you go. So again, 1.98 for the one beds, 2 beds, 2.6, 3 beds. They also have 3-bed duplex and 4-bed duplex. Again, this is a luxury product. These are not the details for the Dubai Island one. The Dubai Island one is much more affordable. One beds over there are going to be around 1.1, 1.2 million. And they're going to have that flexibility in payment plan. As you guys can see over here, the payment plan is a fixed 60/40. So these details just came out, so I want to update you guys on this as well. This is for the Dubai Island project. If you guys want the affordable one, you can go for the Dubai Land project as well. So this was just a quick wrap about Imtiaz. We covered pretty much everything generally about the developer, why it's so good, why you guys should consider it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now.